Ezra Moreno here. Recently, my colleagues and I got a chance to join John Dilworth, the creator of the wonderful show Courage the Cowardly Dog, in an interview. This is the edited version. You can go down to the description, click the link there. That will bring you to the unedited version, the original. Hope you guys like it. John,
boy.
sir, how are you?
Feeling frightening.
Well, that is perfectly okay since it is almost Halloween. That's perfect for this podcast. All right, we have John Dilworth here on the line, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his new film, Goose in High Heels. Sir, what do you have to say about this?
Oh, well, this is a new project. It's well over a year in production, and terribly excited about it because I'm kind of discovering new ways of moving emotions, and the film is running maybe 20 minutes, and there's no spoken words, and there's maybe a dozen characters. They all have very deep emotions and motives, and wow! Every day I get up just to animate. So,
Wow, yeah, I've been following you on your Facebook page, watching those videos, and I have to say that is some very, very, very nice and clean animation. I did not know there were no spoken words in it, so that's new to me, and that makes it incredibly interesting. Definitely, it seems like it'd be a lot longer than the other films you've made in the past.
yes, I've been posting process videos. Just as I'm animating, I have anecdotes about what I'm thinking and what I'm trying to achieve. There may be they're slightly pedagogical, but they're absolutely entertaining and philosophical. There's also the Dilly philosophy built in there, and they're funny also because mostly I'm just funny. I mean, not just funny looking, but sometimes I'll say something funny.
Yeah, of course.
Naturally.
Okay, so to all our listeners here, we have some amazing news. On Halloween, John will be doing something he should have done years ago. That's right, Mr. Dilworth is doing a Courage commentary on King Ramsay's curse. What better way to watch the episode that haunted our childhood than to have Mr. Dilworth doing a commentary over it? Mr. Dilworth, words?
Well, all 4 seasons of Courage have now been released on DVD,
Mm-hmm.
and this is tremendous.
Oh, yes.
Only thing that I maybe frown upon is the absence of special features.
I know.
So Uncle Dilly is going to provide that.
Oh, good.
That's the incentive for doing the commentary on King Ramsay's curse on Halloween. And I plan to continue the commentary. I don't know if I'll get to every episode, but certainly the fans are entitled to some special features, not just the cartoon.
Exactly.
That's what I'm providing.
And something I've always wanted to see, which I mentioned this back a little while ago, was a tour of Stretch Films. Is that something we can look forward to?
No.
No? And are you gonna release anything behind the scenes of the actual production back in the early 2000s and 90s?
Well, yeah, maybe. That's a very good idea, though. I mean, pardon me for dismissing it so quickly. I had no idea where you were going off on. I did make a documentary first season. I wonder where that footage is. That's very interesting.
Yeah, because as I said, I've been watching Courage for well over a decade, and I've always searched online for anything about behind the scenes or what the process was like of making an episode and all that great stuff, and I can't find anything. And I think it also adds a certain layer of mystery to the entire show as well.
Yeah, perhaps that's a better idea. Let the imagination fill it all in.
Yeah.
However, with the commentary, I will just be speaking about the specific episodes. But in this conversation I'm having with the audience, I mean, the topics can go to anything, including especially how the production was run.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's on my Stretch Films YouTube channel, along with the wonderful process videos on Goose in high heels. So Halloween would be great. And then in November, believe it or not, we will have to hit the first episode of the series on the premiere date. I think that's November 12th, but I'll have to check on that date.
Now
we'll have another commentary on Cat's Motel.
Okay, all right.
Nice.
All right, well, I think this is all some really great news to any fans listening right now. Do you have anything else you want to say about the King Ramsay's commentary, sir?
King Ramsay's. Well, we're going to talk about the song. We're going to talk about King Ramsay. We'll talk about the process of creating the episode.
Oh,
the inspiration,
wonderful.
Probably the color. Who knows what else is going to come out.
Okay.
It's worth collecting.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the other thing. YouTube now has become the sort of universal university. It's everything. You can find everything. And there's always somebody there offering something.
And on that note, I guess we should move on to question. Tiki, Jacob, Dragon, well, which one wants to go first on questions here?
I can go first.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Dilworth, first of all, I've always loved Courage. I grew up with it. One of the things that really struck me about Courage, one of the things that really struck a note with me, in addition to the humor that we just talked about, was, of course, the dark imagery, like just all the scary visuals, and not even just the scary visuals, but also the kind of the creepy messages and metaphors that would come along with it. So my question to you is kind of broad, but what I want to know is kind of, what do you think the importance of maintaining dark and scary imagery within children's television today is, post Courage?
I wouldn't know about it. I was always making the cartoons for myself. And I was never thinking about the kids. And I was pretty shocked and also flattered when we got a TV 7 rating. Like, children under 7. But you get 5 and 6-year-olds loving this thing. So, no, it was just I'm sorry, gentlemen, but I just made them for myself, to make myself laugh.
And that brings such joy to me, because I know there was someone who once said that every cartoonist who's making a show needs to make it for himself, and if he makes it for the audience, it's going to flop. And I was 4 when I first started watching Courage, and those are like some of the greatest memories I have of the show. When I was 4, going over to my friend's house and turning on Cartoon Network to Courage, that was amazing.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I was ambivalent about the audience. I mean, we knew who the audience was.
Yeah.
Our audience was 7 to 11. But I always thought an 11-year-old, they're pretty sophisticated. And the 7-year-olds, well, they want to be 11-year-olds. No? I mean, that's what I got from the psychology of it. So I didn't put the real scary, I didn't go truly horrific, deliberately trying to give the kids the nightmares. I just went, where I thought was ridiculous.
Yeah, the spooks and chills.
That has to come through. That has to, like a frequency, an imaginary aura. It has to come through the media. That it's ridiculous. It's absurd.
You struck a good balance.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That was one of the...
Comedy. The whole thing is couched in comedy. It's making fun of itself.
Oh, yeah.
But we're reference. I was in love with sci-fi and horror.
Of course.
I would mash up different horror genres, different plots, maybe throw in some sci-fi, mash it up. It didn't matter. I was able to make it coherent at the end.
Then the music for me, which I think that might be something we get into later, but the music really, really just made the whole thing that much better,
Well, Jody Gray and Andy Ezrin were cats that came to me through one of my producers, Rob Marquez, and they're wonderful because they actually understood what I wanted, but I really wanted cinematic scoring. I mean, my approach to every episode was that it had to be like a mini movie, like a cinema, not a TV, cinema. And this is also why we get those hyper-realistic backgrounds.
Right.
Was as much a character as Courage or Muriel or Eustace or any of the villains.
Yeah, and I think those backgrounds, for me at least, they just made the show pop. They made it really pop.
Yeah, that was, we originated that, we started to develop that in the production of The Chicken from Outer Space. And Margaret Fry, who's working on Goose and High Heels now, she was developing that look for me then. And then she did the Dirty Birdie. She did all the all the color design and the backgrounds for the Dirty Birdie. She did Smart Talk with Raisin. She did Angry Cabaret.
And I believe you used those same type of background, that technique in Angry Cabaret as well, correct?
No, but it was more, but way far out apocalyptic style, almost metallic. It didn't have any war. But we certainly were trying to duplicate the guts of a human creature. And that had to be wet. And, lots of intestines hanging around with chain. That was another mashup altogether.
Since we were talking about scary imagery, I think I might as well bring up the blue fetus in Perfect.
Oh, God. Let's go there.
Well, I can just tell you right now that was my brother's design. He had passed away, and so I took his design and I gave it to a hard-hitting CGI master who created that visual. And all I wanted this head to do was float and say that phrase.
Who did that phrase? Was that you?
Yes.
It was, okay.
It was a tribute to my brother, Jim.
You're not perfect.
And he also did Ramses, correct?
Yes, he did the design for Ramses, exactly. But he was alive when he did that.
Okay.
So, so that was exciting. That was really exciting.
It's a pretty touching tribute, if you ask me.
Yes, well, right. The intention.
Return the slab. What? Return the slab, or suffer my curse.
What's your offer?
All right. Dragon, you want to go next, or Jacob?
Yeah, Jacob, why don't you go?
Were there any episodes of Courage that you had to go through significant rewrites for?
No.
What about like different creative ideas? Like if you had something down, you went back and you changed it.
Oh yeah, that happened once when I was doing a story on this Russian submarine that had found its way on the bottom of the Arctic Sea, and it was a political situation. The Russians didn't want help from anybody in raising the submarine, and I believe they failed to do it. Does anybody remember this?
I don't remember
And
that.
I believe the sailors perished, but again, I don't know the story. I can't remember the story. And we were writing Cats Under the Sea. And the network asked me to, in fact, make it softer so that it wasn't timely. So it, that's really, so that's interesting. Yeah, I had to revise the plot a little bit, but not much.
All right. Well, that's pretty impressive, I have to say. I mean, not having any, major rewrites or complaints from the network, that's pretty awesome.
One of my favorite villains from Courage, one of my favorite episodes, involves the Sean Connery Snowman. I love the Snowman so much, specifically Snowman's Revenge. I love the second one so much. It has it's kind of this really kind of a wonderful kind of story of almost kind of like a redemption for the Snowman. It kind of has this great kind of learning curve. We kind of learn his past. He's kind of lost his loved ones, and in the end, it's a really no pun intended, heartwarming ending. It's
it's great.
Yeah. So I was wondering, how did the Sean Connery Snowman come about?
In the process of casting, I would have to consider what my villains sound like. And Sean Connery is one of my favorite actors because of his accent and his delivery and his attitude. So that's how the Snowman was cast. And Paul Scheffler is my Mel Blanc on the show. I had him do every impersonation. Most impersonations were done by him.
Huh.
It's great. I mean, my whole methodology of making Courage was to model it after the great Warner Brother cartoons of the 30s and 40s, the golden age of Hollywood cartoons. And everything from the writing to the finding a Mel Blanc character to the opening cards to the rock. Yeah, I mean, I loved it. The music. I mean, the music's different, of course, because I was going for a more cinematic approach. But yeah, Snowman is a favorite of mine because also the metaphor is the fragility is too powerful.
Yeah.
Working in all the politics of it too. Can't talk about it here, but it's all there.
Ah, Jimbo. Jimbo the Snowman. Now there was a snowman for an ice age. And ho.
I'm going to answer a few questions from the fans here. Matthew Romero asks, have you ever thought of making a sequel to Angry Cabaret?
Yeah, I did. I actually brought that back to MTV a few years ago, but yeah, we didn't make it work out. I went on to do something else.
Okay.
But who knows? Who knows about that?
That may be something that comes back in the future, maybe, right?
Who knows? Who knows? If we're still alive.
All right. Russell Restivo asks, how long did it take to flesh out the world, the characters, and the villains before the whole package was ready for Cartoon Network?
Oh, you're talking about the making of the Bible. Well, the Bible was no big deal. That probably took me a week, maybe 2 weeks, because I had already done the pilot. And, well, I shouldn't say the pilot. I had made the short film, The Chicken from Outer Space. And all I did was analyze The Chicken from Outer Space. I mean, I made the short film, and then I went back and I used it as the material to write the Bible.
David Manopoli asks, do you have any other plans to do another show, or are you just content with short films for now?
Do I have any plans? Right now, I'm just making this short film that I have to do. I'm compelled to do it. I can't think of anything more at this current time.
All right, and then just one last quick one here. This one is for myself. Can you say anything at all about Everyone Wants to Direct? Because I haven't heard that mentioned anywhere else. That's my favorite episode.
Well, I was at a luncheon with Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, boy.
And I did tell him about the cartoon, and he was very, very excited. Of course, I doubt he saw what the character looked like. I think he was flattered nonetheless.
Awesome. Yeah, that's been my favorite episode for years, actually.
Yeah, I have to tell you that. I mean, a lot of the joy of making this cartoon show was writing with this hyper genius character called William Hohauser. In himself, is a New York City icon of the arts.
And Hohauser. He was a ton of snow.
He makes me laugh. He gets it, and I think that's what we all need. I think we need a William Hohauser in our lives. Our creative, funny life.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I'm sure the Dilworth and Hohauser team together is even funnier. Am I correct?
Oh, when we're doing live stuff?
Or when you're just together, goofing off or working on a short film together.
You should see. There's a on my YouTube channel. There's a clip of Schmaltz and Fettuccine.
Oh yes.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's us doing. That's us. That is pure us. After we made and we shot those aliens, we had like 3 days of laughing trauma. Where we really thought we were going to have a heart attack. We couldn't breathe. Just thinking, even now when I think about it, I mean, there's a memory. That's like have that from Joy? From Joy.
Stupid dog! You made me look bad!
Tell the Martians we said hi.
Thanks so much for your time, Mr. Dilworth. I really appreciate you coming on. It's been an absolute honor.
Thank you so much.
Well, this has been absolutely a blast, and I'm gonna have to get on my rocket ship and travel to Mars now. So.
Oh yes, of course.
Tell the Martians we said hi.
Bye, John.
Well, everyone, hope you liked that. We sure had a great time talking with John. He's a great guy with a lot of creative ideas. Don't forget to go over to John's Stretch Films YouTube channel. Check out that King Ramses Curse Dilworth commentary here. It's official. I cannot wait. It's coming out this Halloween, the 31st, 2016. Also, in 2017, don't forget to go watch his new film, The Goose and High Heels. Links to his YouTube channel are in the description below. As always, don't forget to subscribe, and as Hustis would say, stupid dog.